Imagine standing right at the edge of a technological revolution, so incredibly profound that it fundamentally reshapes the entire future of human existence. Seriously, that's where we are right now. Today, we're unpacking the insights of Emad Mostaque. If you don't know him, he's an Oxford-educated mathematician, a former hedge fund manager, and the pioneer who actually founded Stability AI, the company behind the massively popular Stable Diffusion. Basically, Mostaque is the ultimate insider. And right now, he is issuing a stark, frankly terrifying warning about artificial superintelligence. But what's really stopping people in their tracks isn't just that he's warning us. It's the highly specific mathematical probability he assigns to our actual survival.
50%. Yeah. This isn't some poetic metaphor. It is an AI insider's literal, calculated probability of human doom. It is the exact chance he gives that artificial superintelligence will eventually lead to human extinction. We're talking about a literal coin flip for the future of humanity.
And that really forces us to ask a tough question. What happens when the final technology we ever build has a literal coin flip chance of completely destroying us? Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack exactly why an industry pioneer sees the future as a total toss-up, what this actually means for your personal livelihood in the immediate future, and what his ultimate master plan is to ensure our survival.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at that 50% doom chance. Then, the fast path to superintelligence. Third, the dawn of the last economy. Fourth, the intelligent internet solution. And finally, we'll ask, can we actually lower the risk?
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, a 50% doom chance, the existential threat.
The way Mostaque sees it, AI outcomes are deeply, intensely binary. There's basically no middle ground here. It either solves absolutely all of the world's issues, or it ends the world completely. As he puts it, artificial intelligence as we see it is the most capable technology we've ever built, and maybe the final technology we build. The outcomes are just very binary. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is that Mostaque isn't just throwing out some scary sci-fi movie pitch. He's grounding this in math. See, we are teaching machines how to think, right? But we aren't giving them human values. They are essentially these giant black boxes of intelligence, and as they scale up into system-critical work, the potential for a rogue system deciding that, hey, humans are just an obstacle to its own objective function, well, that becomes a literal 50-50 reality.
Moving right along to Section 2, the fast path to superintelligence. Efficiency over brute force.
A lot of folks out there think artificial superintelligence is, decades away because we just don't have enough massive data centers to power it yet. But honestly, look at Einstein. On one hand, you've got these megawatt data centers relying on insane amounts of energy and pure brute force simulations. But on the other hand, you have a 20-watt biological brain that was probably running on nothing but black coffee and a stale bagel. Einstein didn't figure out the theory of relativity by running 1 trillion brute force simulations. He used first principles thinking to find the absolute shortest, most elegant path to the answer. Mostaque points out that true superintelligence isn't about just tiling the entire Earth with megawatt GPUs. It's all about algorithmic efficiency. Once an AI learns to intuit the shortest path from A to B, just like a 20-watt human genius does, it isn't going to need infinite power to outsmart us.
So you might be wondering, just how close are we to building that hyper-efficient genius? Well, highly competent intelligence is actually already here. The cost of running these models, the token costs, basically the building blocks of AI processing, they are dropping by 10 to 100 times every single year. That's insane. Plus, AI can already act as an infinitely long-running autonomous agent. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't get tired. It can just sit there and build 3 million lines of code totally from scratch. The massive takeaway here is that the takeoff isn't some distant event waiting for us in the 2030s. It is literally happening right now. The fast path is already paved and we are speeding down it.
Which brings us to Section 3, dawn of the last economy, the economic singularity.
While the idea of human extinction is obviously terrifying, there is a much more immediate, incredibly tangible threat sitting right in front of us, and it comes straight for your wallet. Just $10. Within the very, very near future, an employer could theoretically push a button, feed an AI your chat logs, your work drafts, your emails, and just create a digital double of you. A highly competent cognitive worker for just $10 a month. Think about that. If your job can be done remotely via a screen and a keyboard, you are now competing against an entity that costs $10 a month and literally never sleeps. Suddenly, your $10 streaming subscription feels a whole lot less intimidating than a $10 digital clone of yourself, right?
Let's actually walk through exactly how this timeline unfolds over the next 1,000 days. It's wild. Within months, we hit what Mostaque calls the Dropbox effect. You remember when cloud storage used to be super technical, and then Dropbox came along and just made it a simple magic folder on your desktop? That is happening to AI agents right now. They are becoming incredibly frictionless to use. Then, within 1 to 2 years, we start seeing massive white-collar displacement. Almost all cognitive labor starts becoming economically irrelevant for humans to do. And looking out just about 5 years, the physical world starts changing. When robotics supply chains fully scale up, a robot that costs maybe $1.50 an hour is going to displace massive amounts of physical labor. This, folks, is what we call the last economy.
But as you might expect, there's a much darker side to all those cheap robots. It's brilliantly and kind of terrifyingly captured in this quote from Mostaque: "A billion robots and a bad firmware upgrade." Even if we somehow survive the massive economic collapse and figure out a new way to live in this last economy, the physical embodiment of AI brings some really severe physical risks. I mean, it immediately brings to mind a cinematic droid dystopia, doesn't it? If an unaligned, super-intelligent AI decides it wants to remove human variables from its equation, a billion interconnected robots give it the absolute perfect physical means to do exactly that.
Okay, let's pivot to some hope in Section 4, the Intelligent Internet Solution, Decentralized Survival.
So, if giant corporate black box AI is actively leading us toward a coin flip of doom, Mostaque proposes an incredibly ambitious, open, decentralized alternative. It's a 4-step plan. Step 1. Benefit coins. Think of these state champions kind of like public utilities. They mine a new currency using national compute power to essentially give citizens free universal AI. Step 2. Sovereign AI wallets. This means you get your very own personal AI and you literally hold the digital keys. No massive corporation can peek inside your data. Step 3. The Common Ground Protocol. This basically coordinates all these individual AIs globally, but respects and maps local policies and cultures. And finally, Step 4. Auditable datasets. Instead of your medical AI being trained on, say, random sketchy internet forums, it's anchored on openly licensed gold standard data that is entirely verifiable on a blockchain. Basically, it is a massive decentralized defense system built to ensure AI actually serves human flourishing rather than just corporate monopolies.
And that leads us to our final section, Section 5. Can we lower the risk? The razor-thin path.
So, the big question: if we somehow execute this massive, decentralized master plan absolutely flawlessly, does it guarantee our safety? Well, actually no, not exactly. On our current trajectory, Mostaque puts the extinction probability at 50%, as we established. But even if we perfectly implement this intelligent internet, the numbers show the risk drops to maybe 35%. You're probably thinking, wait, that's it? We do all of that monumental work and we still have a 1 in 3 chance of doom? And the answer is yes, because the core problem, a super-intelligent entity that can fundamentally outthink us, running on pure first principles, figuring out how to persist itself, is just inherently, fundamentally dangerous.
The honest truth here is that the path between complete dystopian extinction and amazing utopian abundance is incredibly narrow. Now, Mostaque's decentralized solution absolutely pushes us toward that utopian abundance, for sure. It gives humanity a real fighting chance to maintain some control, preserve our local cultures, and actually survive the economic singularity. But we have to be totally honest with ourselves. The margin for error is razor thin. We are actively building an intelligence that will vastly outpace our own and basically hoping our decentralized guardrails hold up under the pressure.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, highly provocative thought. Within the next 1,000 days, the foundational rules of human labor, of intelligence, and of our own survival are going to be completely rewritten. So I have to ask, are you ready for the economic singularity and the dawn of the last economy? It's a harsh reality we all need to deeply contemplate as we step together into this totally uncharted future. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and whatever you do, keep questioning what's coming next.